Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Plangent. Having a loud, reverberating sound. Having an expressive and especially plaintive quality. And I had to look up plaintive because to me it sounds like you have a plain quality, but it's not that. It's expressive of suffering or woe, melancholy, or a plaintive sigh. So, at least I'm learning something. You may have heard the word plaintive, but I'm learning some new words with this each day. And you'll be happy to hear that I have my notebook back. If that sounds like a notebook, better than these sheets of paper I was using for the last couple days. But my notebook is back, and I've never felt better. Here we go. Initial thoughts. As always, I was combining the definitions. A loud reverberating sound and a melancholy quality. I naturally end up on the band The Smashing Pumpkins. Their album Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness was one of the first things that came to my mind. But loud reverberating sound, part of their early sound especially was just these driving guitars, and that makes sense. It definitely sparked something for me. So I put on the album while I wrote this, the Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, just to see what it did. I love to kind of mix things, even just messing with the wordplay. But having some music while I design sometimes can be really helpful in just setting a tone. But other thoughts. I wrote a loud reverberating sound could be an alarm, or even just a constant pinging sound is torturous of sorts, which are both very downbeat and can be melancholy. But the last thing I wrote down was ringing a bell, hitting a bell, and that leads into the mechanics because a bell sort of has a little bit of a mechanical, I was going to say ring to it, but no, connection. A bell is usually a signal of some sort. So in mechanics, I was thinking of one of those strength games at the carnival where you hit the hammer down on the button, whatever it is, and you're trying to ring that bell just because your strength is the highest. If it's hard enough, you'll ring the bell. And that bell is a signal of success. And you technically cannot get any better than ringing the bell. But I thought of ways that you could. And I tried to... I didn't get back to this, but I'm making a note of this in my new second notebook, which is for my favorite ideas of the days. But how do you make that better? If something has a yes or a no, how do you make it better? And I wrote in flair or style or speed. So if I'm going to ring that bell and I swing the hammer around real fancy and then smash it down, I may get a better reaction out of the crowd than if I didn't do that. So it's double layered. There's the crowd reaction and the success. And then if I did it really fast, I could get a better reaction. Or if I did it multiple times in a row, there's something there as well. So I wrote in the end, a success is a success, but is it? There might be ways to grade that success otherwise. So it's not just simply a yes and a no or a 0 and a 1. As I was writing, I started writing down some of the lyrics I was hearing from the Smashing Pumpkins stuff. We will never be the same. The more you change, the less you feel. It's just kind of cool in setting a tone. I didn't tie it in so much to this, but it was just going as I was writing. And taking a song and writing to it, or trying to design to it, or just even a line from a song is something that I like to do as well. So I've even had games where I had a song was the, like, not so much the theme music, but it was, if there was a theme song for the game, that was it. So I'd put on the song design. Every time I design, I put on that song, and then it just shaped it. It was neat. For the theme, I wrote obviously a rock concert or a factory of some sort for that loud, a repetitive reverberating sound. Could be a factory, something just that's digging all day. But a rock concert as a setting from maybe a resource management side could be interesting. because you could make the same game with just a variety of themes, but what you pull into it is neat. I was thinking of the sound of it and a soundboard, and a soundboard is essentially a bunch of different tracks, which is very gamey. If everything was handled incorrectly during a concert, a lot can go wrong. One of the tracks could be the monitors for the artist, so they can hear themselves. If an artist can't hear themselves, they can't play in time, or if they can't hear the beat of a drum or guitar or whatever, they can get thrown off. So you got to handle that properly. There's the balance so the audience can hear. There are limits to avoid feedback and hurting people's ears. And that's just kind of the start of digging into it as a theme, where you've got this game where you're managing multiple tracks and trying to, keep everybody happy, but also keep an artist so they can perform. So then we get into the final thoughts, and my final thoughts on it are just in ways of trying to figure out how a win condition also has other grading. So just getting back to that hammer falling, hitting the bell, and having that crowd reaction. So it doesn't have to be a win condition of a game. It could be every game is made up of minor other win conditions. So in gaining a victory point, I also performed well, or performed quickly, or performed with a lower amount of resources than required, or something along those lines, and that giving me that extra an extra padded bonus of some sort. Either it's more victory, or it's just simply a tool to work in further. And in this case, the ringing of the bell is the achieving of that victory point. And that's very abstracted, and I definitely got off the page a little bit with this, off of the concept of plangent, but it sparked some thoughts, and that's all I want to do. So I hope this does something for you. I hope plangent inspires you in some way. If it does, please let us know. And we will be back tomorrow with another word. This was a quick one. It wasn't intended to be. It wasn't that short in my notebook.